All right. Well, all right. First thing is coaching is definitely not a 9 to 5. So sometimes that means you need to be at a press luncheon and you need to talk to one of your athletes. So, and sometimes it means you need to be on a radio show and you're late for that too. So, but obviously excited to get back into the West Gym this week. 2 dual, Central Michigan and Ohio, two solid MAC teams. I know Friday night will be the military appreciation meet again. I know we like wearing those singlets in. We always love a chance to honor the military and the men and women that keep us free. So I know we'll have a past UNI wrestler, Greg White, will be coming back. He was been in the service for about 25 years. He lives in Florida now, and called him up, and he couldn't have been more excited to be coming back. So we look forward to honoring him and having a good meet against Central Michigan. Pretty solid team throughout. They're pretty stingy, don't give up a whole lot of points. So we're gonna have to really work to crack them open and work to score some points. And 41's ranked, 49's ranked, 74's ranked, 57's ranked. So through those middleweights, they have some pretty strong kids. So we're certainly going to be tested and look forward to Friday and Sunday come back with Ohio. Justin Greenlee coaches there, former UNI alum. Look forward to having him back. We don't have to be too nice to him though, all right? Although he's pretty big, so you're probably going to want to be nice to him. 33's ranked actually ahead of Albert. Albert beat him, but in some of the rankings they have him ahead of him. They're 57-pounders in the rankings. They're 74-pounders ranked in the top 10, 97. So they have some strong guys too. So we're certainly going to be tested and look to kind of really get a roll going. I like I said last week, I like where we're competing. I like how the guys are moving forward. I like how guys are still taking risks even though it's late in the match. Kind of showing that no fear. Because that's what we want. We don't want them to have fear out there. We want them to go out and just compete and kind of let things go. And I've been seeing that happen more and more. So this weekend's another good opportunity to do that. So with that, I guess any questions?
Coach, last Thursday you were late because you were talking with the wrestler.
Yeah.
Can you disclose today who that?
Yeah, just talking to him again. Here's the thing about coaching. There's a lot of highs. I mean, there are, man. There's some extraordinarily moments, and then there's some gut-wrenching moments too, where you've seen what a guy has done, what they've given up for you, what they've given up to be part of the program, and to have the opportunity to go out there and strap up and go to a national tournament, those things, and then you have injuries and those things that are out of your control, and then you get to a point where you have to kind of take it in your own hands as a coach, because I'm talking about Cody Caldwell. He's injured right now, and the thing with a neck injury, and I know we're not supposed to talk about what a guy's injured, but I don't really care because I'm going to talk about him a little bit because of what he has done for the program. And you get to a point where right now he's losing the power in his arm. It's bothering him a lot, and he wants to go out there as a competitor. He still wants to go out there. He wants to be the guy that stepped on that line and straps up next to his teammates. But you also have to look after the well-being of your athlete. That's part of my job. Part of my job is to make sure that my athlete is looked after and he's taken care of. And 25 years from now, there's not something, or 5 years from now, or 2 weeks from now, something happens and he's affected for the rest of his life. So we sat down and had a conversation about where his neck's at and where things are, and my point to him is, you're going to have the neck the rest of your life, and it's time to shut things down. It's a hard decision. It's a hard decision as a coach, but you have to look after the well-being of your athlete. You have to. So he wants to be out there, and I tell you what, if you see him, please give him a pat on the back. I know he doesn't want it right now, because all you're thinking about is I want to be out there with my team. But like I said, when it comes down to it, there's certain things. If it's a knee, it's different. If it's a finger, it's different. When you're talking about a neck or head, then I get really sensitive on those things, and I'm very cautious. So it's something that has progressively gotten worse throughout the season, and now we're to a point where it's time to shut it down. So So, that's who I was talking to. That's who I was talking about, and love Cody and care about him, and that's where that decision's coming from. So you're probably asking a question now. We need an 84 pounder. Yeah, we do need an 84 pounder. We need someone to step up, and I'm not sure who that's going to be right now. We got two guys at 74 that are battling it out, and probably look at one of those guys being the guy moving forward. But they're tough. They're tough. Man, they are tough discussions to have. They're painful. You get your guts ripped out sometimes as a coach. You do. And that's part of it, but I think everybody can understand and they can appreciate. I tell you what, the time and effort that kid put in the last 4.5 years, the sacrifice. He can definitely rest his head and go to bed at night sleeping well, knowing that he certainly did everything he could. Sometimes things don't happen, and sometimes life's not fair, and sometimes you have to learn those lessons, and they're hard lessons to learn. But he's going to be better moving forward. I can tell you that. I just talked with him, and he's asking about what can I do to help the team. What can I do right now to help the team? What can I do to help my teammates? And I gave him a few things that I think he can do, and so that's the kind of kid he is. So those are the kind of kids we have on our team. And I'm proud as hell of him, and that we have someone that represents our team like that. So if you do get a chance, make sure you tell him you appreciate everything that he's done. He'll continue to do for our program, even if he's not out there competing. So.
What weight classes are still kind of up in the air going into this weekend's duels?
41, and I was 74. So I would kind of look at 84 then too now, figuring something out. But 41, Yelk had a really good weekend. Obviously the other weekend beat some good guys, but so is Kothi. Kothi's beat a couple top 20 guys. So I don't think that's a bad thing to have a couple guys that are both beating top 20 guys and that are in the rankings. I think that's a really good thing for us. But we're getting down to where we have 6 meets left. We have about 6 weeks before our conference tournament. So, obviously the sooner you get decided, then you can get a guy up in certain weight classes. But, I can go into a lot of things about this weight management, and you have to, if you weigh so much, you have to make sure by February 15th that you can weigh whatever weight. So we have to be smart. So right now, both those guys are probably going to weigh in. They're going to weigh in at 41. They're going to both weigh in at 74, because if something would happen and then we get to where we weighed them in at above that weight, then we wouldn't have the option to bring them back down. So, so I would love to be able to build the guy up right now, but I don't, I would certainly like someone this weekend to really push ahead, because both those guys, I know 41, Haran's ranked, from Central Michigan, and then 74, both those guys are ranked. So there's going to be opportunity to kind of separate yourself and make yourself the guy. So we'll see. But I think there's a few weight classes that I think are pretty well solidified. A guy like Albert's competing pretty dang well. And we got some other guys, and hopefully we'll get some firepower back in the lineup this week too. So.
Do you decide that by wrestle-offs, or do you decide that by coach's choice, decision? How do you decide?
We've done both. We've had some wrestle-offs before. Wrestle-offs they're a little goofy though, because they know each other pretty well. It's usually a pretty tight thing. It's not the same as going out and competing, because you can kind of have a guy's number maybe in the room. You wrestle with that guy a lot, and then they go out and compete and they don't quite compete the same. So we've definitely done both. You'd obviously like to have it where the guy just separates himself. He goes out and beats a bunch of guys that are really good and ranked guys, and then you're like, well, this guy's got to be the guy. But I think it hasn't quite happened yet. I think it could be real close, and hopefully it happens this weekend, and then okay, you're here and you're here, and then you move forward. We may have wrestle-offs. We had them before, but I don't think those are the best indication of who's going to be the best wrestler at the national tournament, though.
I just had a little birdie whisper in my ear, Dylan Peters. What's up with Dylan Peters?
I don't know. Hopefully you see him back in the West Gym soon. I know I'm excited. We'll just leave it at that. I like what I see. I like what I see out of him. I don't know if he could possibly get any stronger than he is, but he's pretty dang strong right now. So, hopefully we'll see him back real soon.
Next 4 duels are at home. Is this the time when you really want to see your guys take off and all the hard work kind of start to pay off now that you're home and got that home crowd behind you?
Well, I think you want to get some momentum for the postseason. Whenever you start putting multiple wins together, You start putting 2, 3, 4, 10, 12, 15 wins. I mean, you start walking out there a little bit different. You start expecting that you're going to win. When it's kind of one on, one off, and this is a great opportunity for us to win. Go win 4 in a row. Go in both. All these teams, they're certainly going to test us. There's no gimmies in any of that group, but you go beat 4 good teams in a row. You certainly feel really good with where you're at as a team, and how you're moving forward. I guess consistency and performance, that's kind of what we've talked about. Energy, excitement, hustle, those things that we have absolute control over, that's what we want to continue to see, and we've seen it, but we want to make sure we see it every time out. You can't pick and choose at the national tournament. The first round I'm going to be ready to go, and the second round I'm not. Well, then I'm on the backside, and the next thing you know, I'm out of the tournament. So that's kind of what we're talking to them about. But it certainly is a great opportunity to have, 8 days or something, 9 days. We have 4 meets at home in the West Gym where we do love to compete, and where hopefully it's a packed house, it's a hostile environment for these other teams, and our guys are giving you a lot to cheer about. So, Friday night, 7 o'clock, military appreciation meet against Central Michigan. So, hope to see you there.